Hey guys, it's E-Rob here, Season 2 of the SBL. As you can see, I've got a different layout this time instead of just the full zoomed in screen. So let me know if you like this or not. I just spent an afternoon making it and I'm by no means an artist, so if you think it looks cramped or cluttered or you have any suggestions, let me know. I do think the moving sprites are kind of cool, but I could also make the screen bigger and just use still images, I think. So let me know what you think and maybe I'll incorporate it into the next video. So before I get into the battle, I want to kind of give a more detailed explanation of my team. Not doing a team builder again, but this team is built very uniquely and it's kind of gimmicky, so I'm going to spend a little more time on the detail of the sets before I get into it. But before we do that, Robert, as you can see on the screen, he's got a Mega Houndoom, regular Venusaur, Cofragigus, Cofag is how I say it, I don't know, Terrakion, Scizor, and Manaphy. But notably, he had a Zapdos on his team, which I was terrified of because my team does not break it at all. He has a Mamoswine that he left, and that made me really have to be mix EV'd on a lot of things, like type Null and Mew, to try and live a Life Orb, Adamant, Earthquake, and be able to take 2 of them. He also had a Comfey he didn't bring, a Goodra, and the Prankster version of Meowstic. So he had a lot to prep for, and my team hates Scizor. As you can see, nothing on my screen here likes it. The only way to really take it out is offensively, and Bullet Punch is deadly, and I'm expecting either a Banded set or possibly even an SD set to be even more scared of. Would be just like a Roost SD Bullet Punch bug move, but we'll see what he brings with that. But anyways, I am bringing Make a Lopunny, and it's a unique set where it's one attack. It's high jump kick, substitute Cosmic Power, Baton Pass, and the idea is to Baton Pass into either Mew or type Null for the sweep. And my thought was he has Zapdos, which was, I assume if it came would have Static, and then Cofag, and both are great checks to make a Lopunny. And so I thought I wanted to set up on them, knowing they'd switch in. And so this Mega Lopunny is, I think it's like 240 HP. It's got a special defense boosting nature. It's got like 60 something in special defense, and the goal of it was after I get a Cosmic Power up on a switch, it always will never get sub broken by a Zapdos Thunderbolt. So that was the idea behind it. That guarantees me 2 boosts with the Cosmic Power, and then I pass into type Null, which can't be crit, and that lives anything. I start SDing up, or I pass it into my Mew. So my Mew is physically bulky, but not a ton. It's got a lot of speed, a lot of HP, some physical bulk, and defense boosting nature. And the goal behind this was to have an always Terrakion check. And I was worried about an SD set. That's what I was mostly worried about, because Mew's knocking out speed. If I switch it on his SD, I'm taking a lot of damage, but I can do a lot of damage back. So that's what I'm most fearing from that. But the Mew is mostly designed for Terrakion. It also is packing Flamethrower for the Scizor, and it can comfortably take 2 banded Bullet Punches. But the Mew set for its attacks is Psychic, Roost, Substitute to take advantage of the Cosmic Powers, and Flamethrower. Item Lumberry, because I was hoping this would be something I don't have to stall out Zapdos with, and so I wanted to have a Lumberry on the switch in case they predicted Toxic or something like that. I have my Gigalith, which has been deemed useless by the league on my team, but it's max special defense, and it's my Mega Houndoom check. In the sand, this thing eats a lot of good hits, and it's got a Chople Berry for Terrakion if that situation arises. It's got 2 attacks, Earthquake for the Mega Houndoom and Terrakion, and Rock Blast in case he brought a Pressure Zapdos, didn't want to be stalled out of Stone Edges. Also has Stealth Rocks and Rest for longevity. My Scolipede is a fairly basic set. It's got Toxic Spikes because I didn't expect Venusaur to come, and so I thought, oh, if I can get a layer of Toxic Spikes up, that's going to be good for me in wearing down his grounded threats. It's got Poison Jab, Earthquake, and Protect for the other moves, and Poisonium Z for its item. And the idea with this was, I was really worried about Rain Dance Manaphy, and this thing always gets off a big hit on it. So the idea was, if Manaphy comes in, I'm in a bad spot, I attack what's in front of me, chip it, and then I come in with Scolipede and I knock it out on the after Protect into Z. And if he switches out, great. He's used his 1 free speed boost. So that was the idea there. Next I have Type Null, and it's a mixed wall / sweeper for the team. It was really designed to take advantage of Zapdos. It's got Return, Toxic, Rest, and Swords Dance. And once Terracion's gone, and I've kind of scouted out Scizor, this thing runs through his team, especially if I pass Cosmic Powers into it, because he cannot crit me with my ability. And I didn't predict Knockoff to be coming on anything besides Scizor, really, and if Scizor's using Knockoff, I'm in a good spot. So, got that. It's mixed defenses, so it was mostly EV to take certain special hits, but I wanted the rest in physical bulk, just in case I needed it. So it can take 2 +3 Surfs from Manaphy, and it can take a ton of hits from Houndoom. It's also EV so that it takes 2 Adamant Life Orbs from a Mamoswine that didn't end up coming. So, and then my last Mon, I went back and forth a lot on this. I settled on a Scarf Primarina with Ice Beam, Moonblast, Surf, and HP Fire. And the idea with this is I want to nuke or catch off guard the Terrakion and the Manaphy. And if need be, I don't want to be predicting a ton with it. I just want to attack in front of me mostly. So HP Fire for the Scizor, Ice Beam was for Zapdos / Venusaur, the only 2 things that really could be EV to take me on anyway. So with that being said, on the matchup, I'm thinking that his likely leads either Scizor or Terrakion, both of which I like Primarina because it's going to lift any 1 hit and get big damage off. And if I could get rid of the Terrakion turn 1 because he's expecting me to be slower or whatever, then that'd be awesome. So let's get into this. So let's fast forward just a second. Alright, so I lead Primarina, he leads Scizor. I go for the HP Fire right away. As I said earlier, turn 1, I'm not predicting, I'm going for what's right in front of me. And I know from my mocks this cannot knock out 1 hit if he's running any sort of HP basically, but it can do a huge chunk to it. So I go for the HP Fire right away, and I knock it down to 7%. It's great, it's in range of rocks. And he goes into his Mega Houndoom. I swap out here into my Gigalith. It's my dedicated counter. I'm not sure if he knows I'm Scarf yet or not, but he goes for Sludge Bomb, snags the poison. Unfortunate. That's going to be annoying later on in the match. I'm going to have to rest up. I'm going to throw my rocks up here just to get rid of the Scizor. That's his only removal. And he didn't double in on rocks, so Scizor's gone. Huge start to my team. Eliminated. Switching to Mew here, not knowing what Venusaur is going to do. Kind of expecting a special attack. Or probably a Sludge Bomb maybe, or Giga Drain to eat it up. But he knocks off my Lumberry. And I'm going to go for Sub just to see what he's trying to do next. And he's going to switch into Kofag, which is annoying for my team. I'm going to Roost just so I'm staying in good health for that Terrakion. Scout what he's trying to do as well. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball, break my sub, and I'm going to go right into my Type Null. That can take anything on from this thing. I don't even care if I get burned, I have Rest. I can just set up on it. He's going to sack off the Scizor here, as I go for Toxic, because if I can get a Toxic on Kofag, that's huge for me. He's going to go back into his Venusaur, and so this part of the battle, I'm going to explain a little bit. I know that the Kofag's an issue. He knows I have Toxic, and he's not going to let me Toxic that thing now. So I'm really trying to position myself in a way that I can weaken Kofag and Venusaur so that one of them is in range of either my Mew, my Primarina, or a Z move from Scolipede. Because this core I'm noticing that I didn't plan on coming is pretty annoying, because I thought at Team Preview maybe a Sun team was coming with both Venusaur and Mega Houndoom, and I was thinking, oh, does Kofag get Sunny Day? Does Manaphy randomly get it? I know Scizor gets it, but why would you say that for Scizor? So this part of the match, I'm really just trying to shuffle around. Scout out his set. Once I see Leech Seed here, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have anything that can really touch Scolipede. I'm thinking he's probably just going to have stab attacks and knock off Leech Seed. So that's what I'm thinking. So as we watch these turns here, you'll just see that that's kind of what I'm doing. Is I'm shuffling around, trying to position myself, hopefully get a Toxic Spike up maybe, and just kind of overall see what he's going for. Right here, I'm going to SD, predicting him to switch out into Venusaur. He doesn't. He goes for Will-O-Wisp. And I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to go for not staying now, but I go for Toxic anyway just to be safe in case he, for whatever reason, does that. He doesn't. So I'm kind of taking damage here. I'm going to shuffle back out into Scolipede. I think I was anticipating him switching into type Null, or into Kofag there on my switch, and I was thinking if I can just get some damage off and get one turn ahead on a prediction and get Toxic Spikes up, and when Venusaur's in, so he has to switch out into them, that'd be awesome. Doesn't happen though. So I know this is going to be a lost turn. He's going to Willow, and he's going to swap out and absorb the T-Spikes. And this is where I'm going to try and go for my version of game. I know he's going to absorb those Toxic Spikes with type Null in, because he's shown that's his switch in every single time to this thing is his Venusaur. So I go out into my specially defensive Lopunny, and I'm thinking he's shown Black Sludge, and it's defensive for sure the way he's playing it. I think I can get him on a Leech Seed prediction, and then start Cosmic Powering up. So he switches in, I Mega, I go for Sub, and I guess right, he goes for the Leech Seed. So I'm thinking, great, I'm going to get at least 2 Cosmic Powers out of this. He's just right into Kofag, that's his answer. But he doesn't realize, oh shoot, I'm not boosting or trying to attack behind the Sub. I'm trying to pass this. So I get the +2 Cosmic Powers. He goes into Terrakion, this screams Scarf. So I have 1 attack. It's High Jump Kick. I'm set to outspeed Mega Houndoom. So I'm going to outspeed this Terrakion. He wants a Scarf. I'm behind a Sub, +2. If I can knock this thing out right here with Mega Lopunny, then pass into type Null, there's literally nothing on his team that can take me out. He would have to get to +6 to be able to possibly 2-hit KO my type Null with Manaphy, assuming he even has Tail Glow. And so I'm thinking, okay, knock this out, and we've got the game in the bag. And so he's gonna show off the close combat. I'm gonna go for High Jump Kick, knock this thing out, but I miss. And now I'm kind of screwed because I missed, lost half my health, so I can't be setting up anymore. I get 1 sub the rest of the game. I'm at like 25%, so that's not good. And I can't even knock this thing out or pass my boost because he's faster than me. And even at +2, I'm taking more than 25%. So I have to go out into Mew knowing he's Scarf. He's gonna close combat into me. Kind of annoying. I have to also roost back up here because I don't know what his Rock Stab is. So I do that. I'm in against the Kofag, switch out, and I'm like, okay, I did all this pivoting to get that momentum, set up that exact situation, and I missed a 90% move for that. So here, misplay by me, I Swords Dance. I should have doubled or rested something. He goes into the Terrakion. He makes a great play here predicting my switch, throws his rocks up. So now I'm like, okay, great. This is going to be even harder for Scolipede now. And he's going to switch in. I'm going to get lucky, get a crit with the Psychic on his Kofag, and I get lucky again and get another one. And I think that was a huge moment in this match because I don't know how I was going to break that core of Kofag and Venusaur. I was banking on at this point. I'd seen 3 of his moves. He had the HP Fighting he'd thrown off that I hadn't mentioned. He has the Shadow Ball, and he has the Will-O-Wisp. So what I was banking on was I was going to try and chip that thing down, get some special defense drops, and just play a long game of roosting versus with Mew, and praying he wasn't double status. That was my hope at that point. And that was the only way I was going to get rid of that Kofag. So I think I got this exchange better, obviously, because I got rid of it and I saved PP. But I think ultimately, unless he was Pain Split, I think this would have dragged out. But I could have won that 1v1 with Mew with my investment because I don't think he was going to be able to Shadow Ball me down unless he got some special defense drops with Shadow Ball. But I would have just swapped into type Null back out and repeated the process. So he goes into his Mega Houndoom. The poison now is coming in as I can't take 2 Dark Pulse with poisons after rocks with my Gigalith. So the idea behind it was good. Didn't really end up doing anything besides getting rocks up, but it also chips himself down. So here I'm going to go for Protect. Praying he doesn't have Substitute. Take my +1 speed because I can outspeed a Scarf Terrakion as well. And I think he didn't misplay here, not saving Mega Houndoom, but he let it go down. So now I'm thinking Mew is in a great spot here. If I can just chip down the Manaphy, I don't want to be in a spot where I have to try and 3-hit KO the Manaphy. So he goes into it right away, and I'm like, thank you. Throw off the Z. I just want the chip on this thing. Not let him set up. He scalds, knocks me out. And this is where I go into my Primarina, where he doesn't know if it's Scarf yet, because I could have just been a really fast Primarina. versus Scizor on turn 1, and I knock it out. And so at this point I know I've won. I just need to stay in and spam Moonblast until I go down. I don't care what health Venusaur is at. Kind of hope maybe for a special attack drop to guarantee a sub up versus with Mew. That's going to be my next play, just go right into Mew. He's going to knock me out here after I do get lucky and get the special attack drop. Go right into Mew. I'm going to sub up, predicting either an attack or a Leech Seed, knowing it won't break my sub. Get that right. Psychic. Knock it down. Here I should have roosted, but I didn't. You'll see how it makes it a little scarier at the end. So should have roosted there before knocking it out, subbed up again, then Psychic. But I did skip the turn on that, so he comes in, he's got Rock Slides. I'm like, okay, he could flinch me down, because my plan was if he was stoned, I was going to roost repeatedly, but too many Rock Slides for that. So he flinches me the first turn, and now I'm like, okay, I have to roost up, because I don't know what the calc is on killing this thing. Roost up, Rock Slides again, get the Psychic off, and 71%, so I need one more to go. Rock Slide me again, and he flinches me, and I'm like, oh great, like he could actually win this if he flinches me here, but he misses, so adjusted for the flinch. And I roost up and Psychic to end the game here. So that was a good game to Robert. We ended up taking out 3-0. We're now 2-0 on the season. But Robert had a good team, and I got lucky to bring the Zapdos. Overall, though, close game. We always seem to have some pretty close games last season. We had another one come down to the wire, and it'd be like Suicune and Snorlax and Rhydon on my team versus his bulky Mega Scizor and a Zygarde that had been boosting up on me. So week 3 is coming up next week. We're going to play Dennis, and he is a tough opponent. Beat me twice last season, knocked me out of the playoffs, and he's got a very defined hyper offensive style. So looking forward to that one, and thanks again to Robert for a great game.